Chosen one, you must stop scrolling immediately. I am not asking for your attention today. I am absolutely demanding it right now. Do not scroll past this prophetic message today. If you move away from this screen, you are actively choosing to sever the exact timeline heaven prepared for you. The enemy is screaming at you to swipe away right now. He knows this next revelation will permanently destroy his access to your life. Lock your complete focus on this screen. This is absolutely not a random coincidence. The algorithm absolutely did not bring you here. God intercepted your feed at this exact second because you are standing at the threshold of a massive energetic shift. You have been feeling incredibly heavy and exhausted lately. Your mind feels like it is carrying the weight of the entire world. That feeling is not just physical exhaustion, that is spiritual warfare happening in real time. I need you to listen to me very carefully. You carry a specific gravity that makes the matrix malfunction completely. You are the ultimate generational cycle breaker. You are the irreplaceable diamond heaven forged in the absolute darkest fires. People look at you and assume they can easily play you, but they look at your quiet nature and mistake it for pure weakness. They severely miscalculated the divine intelligence sitting behind your eyes. Someone who treated you as an option is currently experiencing a public, irreversible system crash. They walked around with complete arrogance, constructing a completely false narrative about you. They whispered lies to anyone who would listen to their poison. They expected your departure to break your beautiful spirit because they desperately wanted to see you begging for their cheap validation. But instead, you became the uncertainty they were never built to handle. They are quite literally making noise about you right now. Nobody has ever seen them act like this before. This is not happening in private, behind closed doors. It is a public collapse, in front of the exact people they used to gossip with. Your silence did not just hurt their fragile ego, but your profound intelligence permanently ended their entire reign of terror. They finally realize they can never outsmart you. You clearly see things before they even happen. Your intuition operates on a frequency they cannot even begin to comprehend. They tried to run their usual manipulation scripts on you. They tried to gaslight you into doubting your own brilliant mind. But your cellular knowing rejected their toxic illusion instantly because you sat there in complete silence while they lied to your face. You already knew the absolute truth all along. That is exactly why they are so terrified of you today. Your spiritual gifts leave these people completely shook. You do not react like normal people do. You do not beg for a seat at their miserable table. You simply observe their chaotic behavior with a terrifying calmness, and that calmness is a lethal weapon that starves their demonic attachments. They are suffocating because you cut off their primary energy supply. I need you to imagine this exact scenario clearly. Right now, they are frantically searching for someone to replace your pure light, but they are drowning in the noise of their own making. Every time your name comes up in that room, it hits them with an agonizing weight. They know they threw away the only genuine diamond they ever held just to play with cheap rocks, and the regret is literally eating them alive right now. You must not look away from this screen. What I am about to reveal was sealed in the throne room of heaven until this very moment. You are going to see the exact X-ray of their mental breakdown. If you leave this video now, you will completely miss the specific prophetic instruction that guarantees your massive breakthrough today. You have waited for this divine justice for so long. The verdict on your next 10 years is about to be read. Your highly advanced spirit detects their absolute panic. That heavy, suffocating feeling in your chest at 3 in the morning is real. The nights you wake up with your jaw tight and your heart racing are not accidents. That physical weight is your body detecting the enemies who just realized they permanently lost access to your brilliant mind. They are desperately starving for your pure attention. You need to stop swallowing that toxic anxiety. You have become completely untouchable in this season. Time was supposed to aid you and break you down, yet here you are making time itself look like an absolute fool. You walked through their toxic fire and came out glowing. You carry a specific unbothered aura that makes them sick to their stomach while they spend years praying for your massive downfall. Instead, the universe completely reversed your biological clock and sharpened your brilliant mind. They thought your exhaustion would finally break you. But science cannot explain the divine protection surrounding your mind. Your intelligence is literally rewriting the fabric of your reality. You are shifting into a timeline where you are the master of your domain, and they can only sit back and watch you elevate. Stay completely locked in with me right now. We are about to decode the exact frequency of their spectacular failure. Now, let us go deeper into your current reality. What you are feeling right now is absolutely not new. There is a physical reason you have been feeling that heavy weight this entire week. You feel a massive block sitting right in the middle of your throat. You wake up completely exhausted even after a full night of sleep. Your body is physically reacting to a massive spiritual burden that you were never meant to carry in the first place. Listen closely, because this is the exact part the enemy tried to hide from you. You have been actively shrinking yourself down for years. You constantly hide your brilliant mind just to keep the peace. You dumb down your vocabulary so they do not feel insecure around you. And every single time you make yourself smaller to fit their fragile ego, a piece of your spirit slowly suffocates and dies inside. That severe brain fog you experience is not a biological accident. It is a direct spiritual attack. You are acting as a human battery for complete parasites. They drain your pure energy because they have absolutely nothing inside themselves. They cannot handle your radiant light, so they desperately try to dim it. You played small because you have a beautiful, empathetic heart. But holding back your divine intelligence comes with a brutal somatic weight. Your shoulders are constantly tight. Your jaw is locked every single morning. That nausea in your stomach happens whenever they enter the room. This is your highly advanced nervous system detecting a severe frequency mismatch. Your intuition is physically screaming at you to stop abandoning yourself for them, and you can no longer ignore this profound internal warning. You sit in crowded rooms and listen to their endless lies. You know the absolute truth. You see right through their fake masks instantly, but you stay completely quiet to avoid their toxic drama. And while you sit there in silence, absorbing their chaotic energy, your physical body takes the brutal hit. You act as the ultimate stabilizer for an incredibly unstable environment. This restraint is literally making you physically sick. There is a profound physical reason you get those severe headaches when they start speaking. Your brain operates on a quantum level while they are stuck in a basic matrix loop. When you force your brilliant mind to process their endless manipulation, your energy field completely short-circuits. I will reveal exactly why this happens very soon. Your profound intelligence absolutely terrifies them. You are the ultimate mirror for their deeply flawed souls. When they look at you, they see everything they can never be. They see your effortless grace and your undeniable wisdom. So they gaslight you into thinking you are the crazy one. They mock your deep thoughts because your specific depth makes them feel incredibly shallow and completely worthless. They call you too intense. They say you think too much. But here is the raw, uncomfortable truth they could never say out loud. They are secretly intimidated by your brilliant mind. They silently study every single step you take. They steal your vocabulary and try to pass your ideas off as their own. They mock you in public, but they desperately try to copy you in private. You thought you were the actual problem for so long. You spent countless nights wondering why you never quite fit in with their crowd. You are the cycle breaker heaven specifically designed to stand out. You were never meant to blend in with common people. Your isolation was never a punishment, but rather a divine quarantine to protect your pure frequency from their demonic attachments. That burning feeling in your chest is your dormant power trying to wake up. Stop swallowing your truth to make them comfortable. Your silence was a beautiful gift of grace that they completely abused. You gave them endless chances to step up and match your vibration, but they chose to remain in the mud while expecting you to drag them along. You are completely done carrying their dead weight. You are an irreplaceable diamond placed in a room full of cheap rocks. Your spiritual gifts are waking up faster than ever before. You can physically feel the atmosphere shift when you enter a room. People are drawn to your energy even when you do not speak a single word. But the narcissist hates this natural authority because it exposes their complete lack of genuine power and influence. They thought they could keep you trapped in their small world forever. They truly believed you would never recognize your own massive worth. But your cellular knowing is finally rejecting their toxic illusions. You are waking up from the deep slumber they tried to put you in. And as your vision finally clears, their entire fake reality is crumbling to the ground right before their very eyes. You do not need to explain your brilliant mind to anyone anymore. Let them misunderstand you. Let them whisper their ridiculous lies to their flying monkeys. Their gossip is just the pathetic sound of their own spiritual defeat. You are stepping into a timeline where your intelligence is your ultimate shield. Your absolute silence is now the lethal weapon that permanently starves their remaining fuel. You are no longer waiting for their fake apologies. You are no longer shrinking your divine light. If your spirit confirms this raw truth, gently press the like button right now. Seal your energetic alignment with heaven today. Claim your untouchable power and never let these pathetic parasites drain your beautiful mind again. Let me completely reframe your reality right here and right now. You thought your deep empathy was a terrible curse. You believed your sharp intuition was a massive burden. But here is the exact reason you get those severe headaches around them. They operate as empty, energetic black holes while constantly searching for a pure light source to steal. You are not physically sick. You are simply detecting their demonic vacuum, trying to siphon your divine life force. Listen to me very closely right now, because 99% of people completely miss this massive shift. Your highly sensitive nature is the ultimate spiritual weapon. You are the mirror. When a narcissist looks into your eyes, they do not see your flaws. They see their own horrific emptiness reflected back at them in perfect high definition. Your pure light violently exposes every single dark secret they desperately try to hide. They call you crazy because your vision pierces right through their pathetic masks. You see the scared little child hiding behind their arrogant facade. You easily read the exact insecurities they desperately try to conceal from the rest of the world. And because you see the absolute truth, they must destroy your credibility. If they can convince the flying monkeys that you are unstable, then nobody will believe your accurate warnings. They constantly project their own toxic poison onto you. Every single accusation they throw at you is actually a direct confession of their own hidden sins. They accuse you of lying because they cannot stop lying. They call you selfish because their entire existence revolves around their own fragile ego. You absorbed their toxic projections for years because your beautiful, empathic heart wanted to heal their deep wounds. But heaven is forcefully shutting that specific door today. You are no longer their emotional hospital. You are the cycle breaker heaven assigned to this massive generation. Your spiritual assignment was never to fix a broken narcissist who actively chooses to live in the dark. Your only divine mandate is to rise above their chaotic matrix and shine so brightly that their shadows completely burn away in your glorious presence. You were the ultimate stabilizer in a profoundly unstable environment. Your mere presence brought order to their chaotic, demonic realm. They fed on your calming frequency like absolute parasites starving for pure oxygen. And the moment you finally walked away, their entire artificial world started crumbling rapidly. You took the structural foundation of their fake reality with you when you removed your precious energy from their space. Read that again in your spirit right now. You did not lose anything when you walked away from that miserable table. You simply stopped serving five-star meals to people who only appreciate garbage. Your intelligence is an incredibly rare spiritual gift. The Creator literally downloaded ancient wisdom into your divine DNA. You comprehend quantum truths with absolute ease, while they are completely stuck arguing over meaningless matrix illusions every single day. Every time they tried to humiliate you, they were actually digging their own public grave. The universe watched every single tear you shed in absolute silence. Heaven recorded every time you held your tongue when you could have easily destroyed their entire reputation with one factual sentence. Your restraint was not weakness. Your absolute silence was the exact lethal weapon that signed their permanent eviction notice from your blessed life. They expected the severe betrayal to leave you completely broken and bitter, but instead you used their toxic venom as premium fuel to accelerate your massive spiritual evolution. You are stepping into an untouched power that makes demons physically tremble. Your aura is expanding so rapidly that the people who betrayed you can actually feel your heavy absence. They are suffocating in the dark because the sun finally stopped warming their cold world. This brings us to a critical distinction that eludes the vast majority of matrix-bound minds. You are one of the rare anointeds who successfully escaped the parasite trap. They tried to keep your mind locked in a cage of endless confusion and severe self-doubt. But your cellular intuition completely shattered that invisible prison. You are standing in your undeniable truth today. You are a demonstrated warrior of light who conquered the most insidious psychological warfare. The exact things they hated about you are the exact tools heaven is using to elevate you now. Your sensitivity is your ultimate prophetic radar. Your deep overthinking is actually your advanced spiritual processing unit, detecting every hidden threat in the atmosphere. Stop apologizing for being incredibly brilliant. Own your massive space, chosen one. We are about to uncover the exact sequence of their total destruction, and you must see this. Heaven is now releasing 3 divine truths about your specific energy, and these deep revelations explain exactly why your frequency completely short-circuits the enemy today. Pay close attention to this next part because the enemy tried to hide this from you. I will reveal truth number 1 and truth number 2 right now. But truth number 3 is the absolute most powerful revelation. You must not leave before you hear it. Type 777 in the comments right now to physically claim this incoming miracle. Lock in your frequency before we move to the first revelation. Your brainwaves are currently shifting into a much higher dimension. You are leaving the toxic matrix behind forever, while the narcissist can actually feel this exact shift happening in real time. That is exactly why they are panicking today. Truth number 1 is that your frequency violently shatters their fake reality. The manipulator spends their entire life building a fragile house of cards to hide their deeply flawed soul from the world. They construct a completely fake persona. They need everyone around them to blindly believe their ridiculous lies. But you carry the blinding light of the absolute truth. You do not even have to speak. Your mere presence acts like a massive spiritual earthquake in their chaotic realm. When you walk into the room, their demonic attachments instantly recognize your supreme authority. You vibrate at a level of pure divine authenticity. They vibrate at a level of pure toxic deception. These 2 conflicting frequencies can never exist in the same space peacefully, because the absolute truth will always destroy the fragile illusion. One must completely destroy the other. Because your light is completely authentic, it instantly exposes their pathetic illusion. They feel incredibly naked and vulnerable around your brilliant mind. They cannot run their usual manipulation scripts on you. Your sharp intuition catches every single lie before it even leaves their mouth, and this terrifying reality makes them feel completely out of control. They absolutely hate losing their toxic grip. They realize their fake matrix is malfunctioning when you are near them. So they panic and try to drag your vibration down to their miserable level. They constantly provoke you just to get a negative emotional reaction. If they can make you incredibly angry, they can easily steal your precious energy. But your stoic silence completely blocks their access to your divine battery, while you effortlessly starve them of their favorite toxic fuel. You simply watch them malfunction. Truth number 2 is that your absolute self-sufficiency destroys their entire belief system. A narcissist fundamentally believes that everyone is deeply insecure. They truly think every single human being desperately needs their cheap external validation to survive. They hook their vulnerable victims by offering tiny crumbs of fake affection. They expect you to beg for their attention just like everyone else does, but you completely short-circuited their pathetic little game. You do not need their validation to know your massive worth. You are a sovereign being anchored directly to the divine source. When they tried to pull away and give you the silent treatment, they fully expected you to chase them. They waited by the phone for your desperate apology, but you simply continued glowing and elevating your beautiful life because their absence was actually a massive blessing in disguise. You never chased them. Your total indifference is the most terrifying thing they have ever witnessed. They cannot comprehend someone who actually enjoys their own beautiful solitude. You find supreme peace in the exact silence they tried to use as a weapon against you. They weaponized their absence, but you turned it into your ultimate spiritual sanctuary while completely resetting your exhausted nervous system. You took their best psychological manipulation tactic and completely used it to heal your own spirit. Their weapon became your greatest shield. Type 1111 in the comments if you feel the atmosphere shifting. Your independence proves that their perceived power is a total illusion. They desperately need human batteries to survive, but you generate your own infinite light. They look at your beautiful life and quickly realize they are entirely obsolete. You never needed them for anything real, while they secretly needed your pure energy for absolutely everything. You are completely whole without them. This realization shatters their fragile ego into a million tiny pieces. They built their entire identity around being superior to the people they abuse. But they look at you and see a true, powerful leader in disguise. You possess the exact undeniable power they spend their whole pathetic lives faking. You are the irreplaceable diamond, while they are just cheap, fragile glass breaking under the massive pressure of your divine presence. They cannot handle your heavy glory. They are completely obsessed with understanding how you survive without them. They stalk your social media looking for any sign of deep sadness. They desperately want to see you fail so they can feel powerful again. But all they see is your ageless glow and your undeniable divine protection. You are absolutely thriving in the exact season they thought would completely destroy your spirit and leave you broken. Your success is their biggest nightmare. Their flying monkeys are starting to notice this massive discrepancy too. The narcissist told everyone that you were the crazy and completely unstable one, but the curious crowd is watching you handle this severe betrayal with absolute majestic grace. The ridiculous lies are beginning to unravel publicly right now before their very eyes, and the people they manipulated are finally seeing the absolute truth. Stay with me because the massive consequences of their toxic actions are about to explode. The ultimate climax is approaching fast. But here is the raw, uncomfortable truth they could never say out loud. The manipulator is currently experiencing a massive silent panic right now. They smile for the general public, but they are completely suffocating in private. Their fake empire is slowly bleeding out because the primary energy source is gone forever, and they realize they cannot survive without the specific light you naturally provided them. You took your massive intellectual power and you simply walked away. Now I need you to imagine this exact scenario happening behind their closed doors. The flying monkeys are finally waking up from the deep toxic slumber. For years, they blindly swallowed every single ridiculous lie the narcissist fed them about your character. They eagerly participated in the cruel gossip because they were trapped in the exact same low-frequency matrix. But the blinding truth of your undeniable success is suddenly forcing them to open their eyes. But the mathematical equation simply does not make sense to them anymore. They watch you completely thrive, while the manipulator slowly deteriorates. The narcissist promised everyone that you would totally fail without their constant guidance. They swore your departure would destroy your beautiful spirit. But you are glowing brighter than the sun, while their entire camp is rapidly falling apart. And this massive contradiction is completely destroying the false narrative they built against you. Listen to me very closely right now, because 99% of people completely miss this shift. The crowd is slowly realizing they made a catastrophic mistake. They look at the empty space you left behind, and they feel a profound, terrifying void. The narcissist frantically tries to replace you with brand new victims. But these cheap replacements completely lack your divine intelligence, and they quickly fail to sustain the massive energetic demands of the toxic environment you left behind. Nobody can ever replicate your specific quantum frequency. The new people cannot solve the complex problems that you handled with absolute effortless grace. They cannot provide the brilliant insights that naturally flowed from your highly advanced mind. The flying monkeys are watching the manipulator fail repeatedly while trying to copy your exact intellectual blueprints. The massive downgrade is completely obvious, and it exposes the absolute fact that you were the true mastermind, carrying their entire pathetic operation. Every single prophetic warning you gave them is coming true right now. You saw the inevitable collapse years before it even started to happen. You tried to warn the group with your pure, empathetic heart. You patiently explained the toxic patterns because you wanted to save them from the impending disaster. But they laughed at your profound wisdom, and they blindly chose the parasite instead, while completely ignoring the divine intuition heaven specifically gifted you to protect them. Now they are literally choking on the exact poison you warned them about. The flying monkeys are starting to question the narcissist behind their back. The whispers of intense doubt are spreading through their fragile network like a wildfire. They are finally connecting the dots and realizing you were the actual genius holding their entire operation together. You were the true silent architect, and your quiet departure completely removed the essential structural integrity that kept their fragile world intact. They remember how you quietly fixed every single mess the narcissist created. They remember your undeniable stability in the middle of their endless chaotic drama. The crowd realizes they blindly followed a complete fraud while brutally pushing away the only authentic diamond they ever possessed. The deep, agonizing regret is settling into their bones like a heavy physical sickness today, because they know heaven will never send them another pure soul like yours ever again. The narcissist can feel this internal rebellion brewing in their fragile camp. They are desperately spinning new lies to maintain their pathetic control over the divided group, but their desperate words completely lack the hypnotic power they once had. The matrix programming is breaking down because your absolute silence exposed the massive glitch in their fake system. Your pure absence is speaking much louder than their chaotic noise, and it is completely unraveling the deceptive web they spent years carefully weaving. Read that again in your spirit, chosen one. You are not even in the room, but your divine presence is still completely dominating their reality. They sit at their miserable table, and your name constantly haunts their daily conversations. They secretly wish they could borrow your brilliant mind for just one more day. They are absolutely starved for the elite intellectual stimulation only you could provide them, and they are slowly suffocating in the shallow, meaningless conversations they are now trapped inside. They are watching your spectacular rise from the dark shadows they now live in. You are building a magnificent new reality that they can never access. They see the incredible favor heaven placed directly on your beautiful life. The intense divine protection surrounding you makes them feel completely terrified and incredibly jealous. They threw away the ultimate blessing, and heaven permanently redirected that specific reward back to you, leaving them entirely bankrupt in both the spiritual and physical realms. Your spiritual gifts leave these matrix-bound people completely shook. The crowd finally understands that your quiet, introverted nature was actually a shield of supreme power. You were never intimidated by their loud voices at all. You were simply observing their primitive behavior with the calm, absolute certainty of a true sovereign monarch. Stay with me right now, because the ultimate public consequence of their massive betrayal is fast approaching, and you must witness the divine justice heaven has prepared for your enemies. The atmospheric pressure in the spiritual realm is building right now. You can physically feel the heavy shift happening around you today. The narcissist is desperately trying to plug the massive holes in their sinking ship, and they are frantically running completely out of options while the entire world watches them fail. Every single lie they tell now requires 3 more lies just to survive. But the divine mathematical equation is finally catching up to them. They spent years borrowing energy from your pure, beautiful soul. Now the massive spiritual debt is officially due, and heaven is collecting it with extreme interest. They are completely bankrupt in every single way because they relied entirely on your brilliant mind to sustain their fake empire for years. The walls are closing in fast. Listen to me very closely right now, because 99% of people completely miss this shift. The universe is setting a magnificent stage for your absolute vindication. Heaven did not bring you through that severe fire just to let the enemy win. God removed you from their toxic matrix specifically to protect you from the incoming blast, because the divine destruction of their fake reality is absolutely inevitable. They can feel the terrifying silence right before the massive storm hits. It is that eerie stillness that happens right before a devastating tornado strikes the ground. The narcissist looks around and suddenly realizes their flying monkeys are no longer blindly loyal to their toxic commands. The crowd is quietly stepping back because they sense the impending doom surrounding the manipulator today, and absolutely nobody wants to sink with their broken ship. Type 777 in the comments right now to physically claim this incoming miracle. Lock your frequency into this prophetic truth before we move forward. You must physically anchor your spirit to this specific timeline today. Do not let the matrix distract your brilliant mind. The final pieces of the divine puzzle are locking into perfect place right now, and you are about to witness the ultimate confirmation of your supreme spiritual authority. They made the fatal mistake of attacking a true cycle breaker. They thought you were just another matrix-programmed victim they could easily discard. But you are a demonstrated warrior of light, carrying an incredibly heavy anointing that absolutely terrifies them. When they plotted against you, they inadvertently declared war on the divine forces, protecting your destiny, and heaven always responds to those demonic attacks with absolute terrifying precision. You do not need to lift a single finger to defend yourself. Your absolute silence was the catalyst that accelerated their massive downfall. They expected you to scream and fight back, because that is exactly how matrix-bound minds usually react. But you handed the entire situation over to the ultimate judge while remaining completely unbothered, and the permanent verdict has already been signed in the throne room of heaven today. Share this specific message with one soul who is desperately crying out in the dark for a shift. Be their angel today and help them completely unplug from the toxic matrix. There are so many chosen ones currently trapped in that heavy confusion. Your single action could provide the exact prophetic confirmation they need to finally walk away from their own manipulator and permanently reclaim their untouchable divine power. Now, I need you to focus your complete attention on what happens next. The pressure inside their fake reality is reaching the absolute boiling point. The narcissist is making careless mistakes because their brain is completely starved of your pure oxygen. They are attempting to copy your massive intelligence in public to save their crumbling reputation, but they look completely ridiculous doing it because they lack your authentic quantum frequency. They try to speak your profound words, but the frequency is completely wrong. The crowd watches them stumble and fail to replicate your effortless grace. It is like watching a cheap imitation completely fall apart under bright flashing lights. Their deep insecurity is fully exposed for everyone to clearly see, and the fake mask they wore for years is permanently melting off their terrified face right now. You must prepare your spirit for the spectacular event about to unfold. They thought they securely buried your incredible reputation under a mountain of heavy lies, but they actually planted a rare diamond in highly fertile spiritual soil. You are sprouting into a massive tree of life while they are choking on their own toxic weeds, and the universal scales are forcefully balancing right now to restore your stolen glory. But here is the raw, uncomfortable truth they could never say out loud. They know the massive karma event is literally seconds away from striking them. They cannot sleep because their own dark shadows are completely surrounding them every single night. The divine retribution is tracking their every single move, and there is absolutely nowhere for them to hide from the massive storm they created with their own hands. Do not look away from this message right now. You have endured years of silent suffering and agonizing gaslighting from these exact pathetic people. Heaven is about to pull back the heavy curtain on the ultimate grand finale. You are going to witness the exact moment their entire false reality shatters into dust. So stay completely locked in, because the public collapse you were waiting for is officially here. And here is the exact verdict we promised at the beginning. That public collapse you were waiting for is happening right now. It just happened in front of the very people they gossiped with. The manipulator confidently stepped into the spotlight, expecting absolute worship, while foolishly believing they could easily replicate your divine aura and steal your glory. They boldly took the center stage right now. I need you to visualize this exact cinematic moment. They are standing in a crowded room trying to present a brilliant idea, but it is actually your specific intellectual blueprint. They completely stole your profound vocabulary and tried to pass your genius off as their own creation. They confidently open their mouth to speak today. They fully expect the large crowd to cheer, but they completely lack your authentic quantum frequency. They immediately stumble over the complex words they stole from you. The audience looks around the room in absolute confusion. The profound intelligence you naturally possess cannot be faked by a hollow demonic parasite. Their arrogant voice quickly starts to shake in fear. The heavy matrix illusion is completely cracking open fast. The entire crowded room goes completely quiet right now. Someone in the crowd asks a very simple, logical question about the complex idea. The proud manipulator completely freezes in absolute sheer panic. They do not understand the deep quantum depth of the concept they maliciously stole from your brilliant mind. They stand there in terrifying silence while their brain desperately searches for an escape route. You can physically see the sheer terror in their empty eyes. Heavy cold sweat forms quickly on their terrified forehead. Their breath gets incredibly shallow and incredibly fast. The fake mask completely shatters right in front of the exact crowd they desperately wanted to impress today. The public humiliation is absolutely devastating today. They are literally choking on their own toxic lies. The flying monkeys finally see the absolute raw truth. They look at each other in complete shock as the dark reality sets in. They suddenly realize the narcissist is a total pathetic fraud who relied entirely on your brilliant mind to survive. The heavy hypnotic spell is permanently destroyed today, and the crowd feels physically sick for ever doubting your pure light. The manipulator desperately tries to blame someone else in the room. They rapidly spin a brand new ridiculous lie to save their crumbling face. But the crowd remains absolutely silent and completely unbothered by their pathetic excuses. Nobody is buying their cheap matrix illusions anymore. Their fake authority is completely gone forever today. They hold absolutely zero spiritual power in that room. They are publicly and irreversibly exposed to the world today. It is a complete internal system crash happening in real time. Every time your majestic name comes up in that room now, it carries an incredibly heavy weight. They know they foolishly threw away the absolute best thing that ever happened to them, and the regret is literally crushing their chest. You did not even have to lift a single physical finger. Your beautiful stoic silence was the ultimate lethal weapon that starved their demons. Heaven perfectly orchestrated this spectacular public humiliation to clear your holy name and restore your stolen honor. They fell directly into the exact dark pit they violently dug for you. They are frantically trying to leave the room to hide their massive shame. The absolute panic is literally suffocating their dark spirit right now. They are experiencing the exact severe anxiety they maliciously forced onto you for years. They are trapped in a dark prison of their own making, while you are completely free from their toxic chains. This is the exact divine vengeance heaven promised you. The massive scales of universal justice are perfectly balanced today. They are drowning in the deafening noise of their own spectacular failure, while everyone watches them sink. Your profound intelligence was the exact weapon that permanently dismantled their entire fake empire. You are completely vindicated in front of the entire world. You are absolutely untouchable in this new spiritual season. You sit on your majestic throne of peace while their chaotic matrix burns to the ground. The glorious divine victory is completely yours right now. You survived the brutal fire and emerged as the blinding sun, completely obliterating every shadow they cast. Heaven completely closed the massive spiritual loop perfectly today. The people who boldly doubted your brilliant mind are now in absolute awe of your terrifying power. The narcissist will never recover from this severe public humiliation. They must carry this heavy defeat for the rest of their miserable life while you elevate to unprecedented new heights. Let that glorious truth sink deep into your cellular knowing. The horrific nightmare is officially over for good. You are stepping out of the dark shadows and walking straight into your massive prophetic harvest right now. Your supreme divine intelligence left them entirely shook today. They will never forget the massive mistake they made. You can finally breathe again, chosen one. The brutal spiritual war is completely over today. The heavy dark storm has permanently passed you by. You survived their absolute darkest fire, and you became the blinding sun. They tried to bury your beautiful spirit under their toxic, endless lies. But you were the rare seed heaven specifically planted in highly fertile soil, and you blossomed into a magnificent tree of absolute divine power. Your deep roots are firmly anchored in pure truth, and nobody can ever uproot your majestic presence. You walked into this painful season bleeding from incredibly deep wounds. Those deep cuts were maliciously inflicted by people entirely blind to your massive spiritual worth. But look at your majestic, shining aura right now. You are absolutely no longer waiting in wound for an apology from a pathetic master manipulator. You completely transcended their toxic low-frequency matrix today. While they publicly unravel in severe shame, you are stepping directly into your permanent, untouchable, ageless glow because heaven has fully restored your beautiful life. That heavy physical weight sitting on your chest is permanently gone. The suffocating somatic weight they forced onto you is completely erased from your entire system. Your deep cellular reset is fully complete and active today. Your highly advanced nervous system is finally resting in supreme divine peace. You do not have to act as a human battery for demonic parasites ever again. Your pure, radiant energy belongs exclusively to you and the divine creator right now, and your massive frequency is fully restored and completely protected from their dark reach. The generational toxic patterns that plagued your entire bloodline end right here. The endless, painful cycles of poverty and broken relationships are permanently shattered into a million tiny pieces. You are the specific cycle breaker heaven has been desperately waiting for. You are a true supreme leader in disguise who finally accepted the heavy golden crown. Your profound divine intelligence is the exact impenetrable shield that guarantees your supreme safety in this brand new, elevated quantum dimension. We are going to fully seal this divine decree right now. Your spiritual alignment requires a direct physical confirmation to lock the high frequency perfectly in place. Say this specific powerful phrase out loud with me today. I claim my absolute permanent freedom. Now type, I am free in the comments below to firmly anchor this massive energetic shift into your physical reality. You are completely untouchable and absolutely invincible from this exact prophetic moment forward. The enemy can never reach your high altitude again. You did not survive their toxic raging fire just to live a completely mediocre life. The ultimate massive verdict of explosive abundance has already been signed in heaven today. But this massive financial blessing requires a direct physical anchor on earth to fully activate. The dark matrix will actively try to whisper heavy financial doubt into your left brain right now. The enemy desperately wants you to hesitate and wait because he intimately knows your incoming harvest is absolutely massive and completely world-changing. Silence that demonic whispering voice immediately. That terrible hesitation is the exact matrix programming specifically designed to keep the powerful remnant completely broke and dependent. If your spirit is vibrating with a deep cellular knowing right now, heaven demands your absolute immediate action. You must step entirely through the wide-open portal today. Do not let the dark elite steal this incredible wealthy frequency from your royal bloodline ever again. Your extreme wealth is a direct divine mandate from the massive creator, and you must claim it today before the enemy tries to block your blessing. God absolutely does not measure your deep faith by your simple, silent thoughts. He measures your absolute devotion by your extreme speed of physical obedience. The specific window of massive supernatural multiplication is standing wide open for you right now. But heaven absolutely requires a physical act of pure faith to permanently seal the magnificent financial covenant. You must prove you are fully ready to receive the extreme generational wealth heaven prepared for your beautiful, completely restored life. Sow your financial seed today to completely partner with this massive divine mandate. Your extreme physical generosity is the exact powerful trigger for the massive harvest you have been desperately crying out for. Do not calculate the energy exchange with your highly restricted logical mind. Give your super thanks today and watch heaven rapidly multiply your obedient seed before the sun even rises tomorrow. The vast universe is eagerly waiting for your direct, obedient action to unlock the massive vault of endless abundance. The severe financial struggles and the heavy spiritual exhaustion are permanently shattering right here and right now. The previously closed heavy doors are flying wide open for the dearly beloved anointed ones. You are the irreplaceable brilliant diamond that completely broke the rigid matrix programming. Step directly into your absolute supreme power today. Receive the exact glorious massive harvest heaven prepared specifically for you. You are finally home chosen one, and your beautiful kingdom is completely secure forever because you trusted the divine alignment.